So, in high school, I decided to take AP classes my junior and senior year because that's the only periods that you're allowed to take it. My junior year, in my physics class, was only 3 black girls, and since I was an overachiever, I guess people expect a lot from me, so I felt like there was a lot of pressure on me. Then my senior year, 3 girls became 1. Now, so 1 girl, 4 boys, and another other girl in there. But we didn't get along, so that was another story. It was hard because the boys always stuck to each other because boys think, oh, we're better than girls, we know more, we can construct more. And it wasn't the case because I was third in my class. So the boys in there, they weren't. So I know what I was talking about most of the time. And one time we went to this project competition, and I was the only girl in the group of 3 of boys, and they knew me the whole entire time. Even though I suggested the idea that did work, because the other group did the exact idea that I said, and they won. They got mad at me for some reason. Who knows? You guys didn't want to listen to me. It's not my fault. But also my senior year, I took AP Calc, and I love math, and I sat in the front seat. And all the boys always sit in the front seat, so I sat amongst them, always raise my hand, always say the right answer, or always say some answer, so they will know that I'm here, I'm good. And just always working that hard in high school, it pushed me towards the science field. I wanted to be an engineer. I don't care what the dynamics or the demographics, the demographics and the dominant gender in that field. I didn't care. I knew how good I was, my capabilities, so I kept going. What about you?
So for me, it's a little bit weird walking into high school because I came from 7th grade and went straight into freshman year of high school. So then it was just like, I didn't finish middle school, but I was excited to be out of middle school type of philosophy. But then when I got in there and started choosing my classes, and I knew I wanted to do like the honors classes, the EP classes, and so forth. Like I wanted to just jump in there and just continue learning. But then when I walked in, it was so like, are you sure you don't want to take CP classes? Are you sure? And to some extent, I understood it. Like I come from 7th and like jumped up, so like, but then I knew I wanted to jump in and learn. Like that was the whole point of why I agreed to do the whole shift and to come straight to math. So I knew I wanted to do the learning and so forth. But there was still a lot of people from guidance counselors to advisors all like, oh, you sure you don't want to do CP and so forth, and kept pushing me. But I still took the honors classes and so forth. And it wasn't until like somewhere in my junior year that people like the advisors and the guidance counselors finally stopped telling me like take CP classes and so forth. And then it just junior year, just because our school also does the same thing, doesn't offer AP classes until junior, senior year. And then I was the one crazy person that decided, yay, I can do AP classes, I'm about to do 5. So I did 5 AP classes junior year, and so forth. And then teachers were like, this girl is crazy, like, what? And like 4 out of the 5 of them, either the only black person or the only black girl or just like the only girl when AP classes. What do you think? And it was an interesting experience going through all of it because it wasn't like our school wasn't a diverse school. Our school was, in the sense, it was actually predominantly African American schools. It was like 50% black. Mm-hmm. But then when you walked into AP classes all the AP teachers were white males, and you walk into the classroom and so you see all these white males, and you walk into a classroom and you walk from our school has very nice and diverse. You walk into a classroom and it's like just you're the only black person in there. You just sit there and you learn. And it wasn't until like, because for a lot of times I started off and I was just like shy and was sitting in the back. But then they would see my test scores and so forth. It's like, wait, you do know the answer. You do know what you're talking about. And then as I got more confident and I actually understood like I deserve to be here and I'm supposed to be here. And I'm actually capable of working and learning and doing work at this level. And that's the part that, like, that confidence that I got over time from just me pushing myself to get in those places. that confidence made me better. So then I was able to like raise my hand and like answer questions and so forth, and know that I actually did know the answer. And I think that's the part that really pushed me. And even when it's also what pushed me in when it came to college, and choosing my major and going into college. But how was your experience, like transition from high school to college and so forth?
With college, I'm a rising sophomore now, so last semester was my freshman year, and it was a big eye opener, my orientation, because I didn't really think about race in engineering that much. So when I first walked into my Pacific major, this woman came up to me and she was like, you know, you're the only black girl in your major. I was like, okay, what? How does that affect me? Why should I be intimidated by that or something? It really hit me. It threw me off my game a little bit because I'm like, okay, why isn't there a lot of black girls in there? Am I going over my abilities? Am I thinking too much of myself? So it knocked down my confidence by a lot. But as I progressed into my freshman year, and I was like, I'm better than these kids, or we have the same ability, like we're good. So I'm just like, maybe her objective was to knock me down, but it didn't knock me down. It actually gave me more of a motivation to keep going. And with my engineering classes, I'm basically the only black girl, except for one other girl, but I don't know about her right now. But I'm the only black girl in my class. And that was so intimidating. It was all white, Caucasian males or females, and mostly males. And I was the only group, actually. I was the only person in a group filled with 3 boys, and I was the only girl. They never listened to me. They always give me all the information, like, you write this, you type this, you take down the data. We got the construction part, we got the engineering part, you do this part. I was like their secretary or something. So I'm looking at them like, why are you guys treating me like this? I never really understood why that's happening to me. But as I'm growing right now, I'm starting to realize the barriers are placed in front of me, and I have to personally jump over them and get over them, overcome them myself. And it's just a progress. Every day it's a progress, and building myself up and learning from myself and from my mistakes, and just keep growing as a person, because there's a lot of barriers set for girls, women, but then there's another barrier set for black girls. So it's a struggle every day just to prove myself that I'm good. They expect us to be extraordinary. I keep saying this. They expect us to be extraordinary every day, especially black girls. They expect us to be beyond everyone, above everyone, because society set us as below average. So I feel like every single day when I walk into a class, I have to raise my hand. I have to say the answer. I always feel the pressure, but it's only making me a greater person at the end of the day, making me work harder, focus more, and prove myself. How about you?
For me, actually, the reality of just race and higher education, like AP classes and even engineering, never really hit me when I was in high school. Because I was like, we're just a group of people that just want to learn and want to like get understanding. I think it also kind of has to do with the fact that I come from an African household, so I've never really seen the difference between the effects of race in society. It's not something that I've like thought about in terms of learning. So for me, I was just running toward education. I was running toward learning. I was running it. So that was my motivation. So even though you could see it when you're in the classroom, I think it was more like my friends who mentioned it more than I mentioned it, or I realized it or noticed it. But then even when it came to wanting to do engineering and like choosing my major and so forth, I think it was more other people that were like, you didn't know there were no girls in that. You didn't know there was no African Americans in that. I was like, but this is what I want to do. This is what my passion has driven me to do and so forth. And I think that's what for me, even though I didn't realize it at the time, was most beneficial for me. In regard to the fact that I never got to a point where I realized, oh, I'm glad I'm doing engineering. But I was for a very long time, and even now, I was just a person running for what I wanted to do and motivated to do what I wanted to do and to pursue that. And even when it came to our college, because our college, it's not a small college, like we have over 20,000 kids in our school and so forth. And our engineering program is a very good program, so we have a very good program. But as I started, because now I'm an uprising junior, so I've been in here for like the last 2 years. But then you see more of the effects, like after you start taking the classes and like see the people and like so forth, you sense it. Because then when you have a classroom that has like, my entire class, there are 2 black people, it's me and my friend, and it's we started off close to 200. So out of 200 people sitting in the lecture hall, there's only 2 of you. And the majority of them are white males. So then you're just sitting there and it's kind of, the shock and the reality of it kind of hits in. But then I always go back to the fact that at the end of the day, I'm running for this education. Regardless of, I'm okay being the only person in here as long as I get my education. Yeah. And I think that's what really motivated me. Like the reason, that's what keeps motivating me. That the reason I'm here is so that I can pursue my dream and pursue what I want to do. And I will continue to be better for myself, and not try to, in a sense, bring myself down, because there's all these other people in there, the ones that are supposed to be better, and no one knows of anyone that looks like me or is like me that has succeeded and so forth. But let my education be what motivates me, and I think that's what has really worked for me. Even though I'm in that situation and have now become aware of the situation, it still hasn't stopped me from pursuing what I want to pursue.
For some high school students, when they think of engineers, they think, majority men working in the fields. And I guess when you think about going to college, you're more fearful that you'll be the only one there. And I found out there's actually a support system there for you to help you out and help you flourish yourself in your major. So I love college for that reason a lot.
Oh yeah, like I think when I got to college and learned about all the support systems, because there are support systems in high school, like guidance counselors and so forth. It's not really the same. But like for college, because it's big and like so forth, but you really do need that support system somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. And then you have organizations like NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers. You have other organizations, Society of Women Engineers, and so forth. You have all these groups, mm-hmm. and you have all these different support groups, and there's an organization called REU, that is Researchers to Ensure Successful Engineers, and it's predominantly an organization created for helping minorities in engineering succeed and grow, and giving them internships and those connections and so forth. So you have all these great groups that exist mm-hmm. All the way around as support groups for you when you're in there and pursuing your education, to back you up and tell you, yes, you can do it. You need help, I got you. Yeah. Like even if no one else in your class will help you, I got you, and I can help you. So I think that is a great part of like the good part of being in college and engineering and like also being a minority.
Yes. So one advice I would give for a Black woman going into engineering major is that you're not alone. Even though there's majority of white or other races in the engineering major, there's other Black women that's already been through it. They can help you, support you, and help you find your path through the field. That's what I would say.
And I think for me, my biggest thing would be skin color doesn't mean a decrease in brain capacity or any difference in brain capacity at all. Just because it's an underrepresented field or there's not a lot of people like you in that field, well, there'll never be any more. The number of people in that field will never increase, like the number of African Americans in engineering will never increase if African Americans never go into engineering. And if you have a passion for something and you're motivated to do it, don't let anything stand in front of you, regardless of whether it's color, whether it's race, whether it's height, shape, accent, all of it. Because believe me, I have them all. But don't let any of those stand in your way. For every dream and for every will, there's a way. And I honestly believe that for every will, there's a way, regardless of any limitations. There's always a way for any desire that you have. So just push. Believe in yourself, believe that you're capable of doing it, and that's honestly the start of any success.
And Robert Frost did say,
No,
accept no one's definition of yourself, define yourself. Define yourself in that nature.
Yes. Don't put that.